Welcome. My name is Josh Almeida, and I am very excited to bring to you our latest installment of Focus on Learning, brought to you by New Bedford Public Schools and New Bedford Cable Network. While the best way to find out what your child could be doing at home is to work directly with your child's teacher in school, we know these videos will help everyone keep learning active at home.
Hi, my name is Ms. Faria and I am a teacher at Lincoln Elementary School. Today I am going to talk to you about alcohol. This lesson is directed towards middle school students in the New Bedford Public School District. Before I begin, I want to ask you a few true or false questions. So while I read these questions, think to yourself while you're watching, is it true or is it false? The first one, alcohol cannot permanently damage the liver, heart, and the brain. Think about it. Is that true or false? If you said the answer is false, you would be correct. It does damage all of those organs, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. The next one. The first thing that alcohol affects is your judgment. True or false? If you said true, you are correct. It is the first thing that it affects. Drinking coffee or other caffeinated drinks can help to make you sober more quickly. So again, drinking coffee or caffeinated drinks can help to make you sober more quickly. And this is a great big false. This is a myth that many people believe is true. And in fact, it cannot sober you up much quicker. The only thing that can sober you up is time. And then my last one, alcohol is a stimulant that wakes you up. Alcohol is a stimulant that wakes you up. If you answered false, you would be correct. And that's a great way to lead into our vocabulary that you may see today and may see in today's lesson. The first thing is alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant. A depressant is something that slows down the function of the body. It slows down your central nervous system. So basically, you're walking in slow motion. Everything that you would do is slower. But I've mentioned alcohol. So what is alcohol? Well, alcohol is a drug, and a drug refers to any substance when taken into the body that changes the way a person feels, thinks, or behaves. And that's exactly what alcohol does. When one drinks alcohol, it does travel through their body, so it does change the way they think, feel, and behave. Alcohol is a colorless, flammable liquid that in one form is the substance in liquors that can make a person drunk. A few other vocabulary words that I want to review real quick because you may see them or hear them in today's lesson. Intoxication. Intoxication is physical and mental abilities that are impaired by alcohol. So when you drink, when you get to the point of intoxication, your physical and mental abilities have been compromised. A DUI or DWI. A DUI is driving under the influence, whereas a DWI is driving while influenced. This is a crime. So this is a crime of driving a vehicle while drunk. Also, a person who is arrested for driving drunk could say to have a DUI or a DWI. Blood alcohol level. And later we'll talk more about this, but this is your BAC. So your blood alcohol level represents the percent of your blood that is concentrated in alcohol. So it's the percent of alcohol that is in your blood. And blackout. Blackout occurs when you have way too much alcohol and the drinker may not be able to recall a period of time. So for example, someone goes out, they have too much to drink, they wake up the next morning and they had so much to drink that they do not remember what happened the night before. They may not remember how they got home. They may not remember making certain phone calls or sending texts. That would constitute a blackout. So what happens? So when you're drinking alcohol, alcohol travels through the bloodstream. Once it travels through the bloodstream, your liver metabolizes it, so it breaks it down. Once your liver metabolizes it, then your kidneys filter it out, okay? But there are a lot of effects that occur while that process is going on. The first one are your immediate effects, okay? So if you drink too much alcohol, one of the immediate effects that you're gonna see is if you drink too much alcohol, it can affect your vital organs. Breathing and your heartbeat can be affected, which then can turn deadly. In addition, another immediate effect is as a powerful depressant, it affects your body and behavior. And we mentioned that when I was discussing a few of the vocabulary words. Another immediate effect, it slows down the central nervous system, slowing your reaction time and your thought processes. It can cause blurred vision, poor coordination, and confusion. And later in this segment, you will see some examples of alcohol affecting one's judgment, their ability to walk, and their ability to do the day-to-day tasks that we like to do. So moving on, we drink alcohol, so there are physical effects, because we mentioned it travels through your liver, it goes through your kidneys, so there are things that can occur. Think of your digestive system. When you eat food, the food goes into your digestive system, it gets broken down, and then it goes about to where it's supposed to be. Nutrients go into your body, everything else gets excreted, removed from your body, sorry. So when your body ingests alcohol, your digestive system may produce vomiting. Your circulatory system is affected because your heart rate increases. It puts more pressure on that heart, and so it pumps faster. It has more blood flow, and your body temperature may decrease. Your kidneys are affected. Why? Because when you drink alcohol, it causes dehydration. It increases urine production from the kidneys, so which causes you to have to go to the restroom more. It affects your nervous system and your brain. Your brain slows down, it slows your reflexes, and your perception is not clear. And again, you will see examples of this later on in the episode. So next, I would like to talk about your long-term effects. So I just mentioned the physical effects. Well, long-term effects are just that. Things that it has a long-term effect on your it causes long-term digestive problems. Excessive alcohol ingestion causes brain damage, and it also can create liver problems in the future. So drinking alcohol is a very serious thing, and you should be aware of all of these different effects that it does have on your body. But what I want to focus on today is drinking and driving and what can occur. Prior to getting into that, I do want to mention that there are some major factors that influence alcohol. This is all bad, right? So if this is bad, why do people drink? Why is underage drinking a thing? Why do we have to worry about it? Well, you have three major influences. One is media, two is the family, and three is peer pressure. Now, we all know what peer pressure is. When our friends are doing something, we want to fit in. That is when we can be persuaded or pushed or influenced into wanting to drink. Our friends are doing it, so I should do it. Family. A lot of this has to do with your family relationships, your family attitude and belief towards alcohol. And then media. My belief, media plays a huge factor in our influence in drinking or doing drugs or smoking or vaping. Think of advertisements that we see every day. Media is saturated with alcohol-related content. Media plays a big influence on our decision making. So it's very important to be able to understand and analyze your media and where you're getting your content from. Social media. okay, is filled with alcohol-related messages. And these messages are very powerful enough to influence us to want to do something or maybe not thoroughly investigate what they're trying to sell us. So going over to the major risks. We know that there's a lot of major risks on our body. We have the physical effects, the long-term damage that could occur, but we also have a lot of major risks that are outside our physical body. And what are those? Alcohol poisoning, binge drinking, drunk driving, underage drinking, and legal risk. So if you're choosing to drink, not only are you affecting your body and possibly damaging your body, you are potentially risking legal consequences. What about drinking and driving? I can walk in a straight line, I think I can, but when you're drinking that alcohol, it does impair your judgment. So what you think at that time may not be reality. So drinking and driving, you face possible lawsuits. You face jail time, arrest, fines, court appearances, loss of trust from family and friends, living with remorse and regret, especially if that drinking and driving incident causes harm to someone else. Additionally, there are even more severe consequences, like loss of your license. And if you are underage or you have not gotten your license yet, it may suspend your ability to be able to get that license. And the last piece that I forgot to mention, my apologies, are the behavioral effects, okay? So again, we talked about your physical effects with vomiting, your heart rate increases, those kind of things. But the last piece that I need to mention is your behavioral effects. You have a risk of intoxication, blackouts, aggression, and impulsive behavior. Aggression, possibly getting into fights with someone that you typically wouldn't fight, or for a reason where you typically wouldn't fight with someone. Impulsive behavior, doing things that you would typically not do if your judgment was not impaired. So at this time, I'm going to get ready for some experiments, and I'll be back in just a moment to show you those. So today I brought in my husband, Adam, who is going to help me demonstrate what happens when our body has been intoxicated with alcohol. So alcohol depresses the cerebral cortex, which then clouds our judgment. People who have been drinking may have trouble with their coordination and vision too. Did you know that alcoholics have difficulty with their visual perception? The brain's ability to make sense of what they see. These skills are important for completing the basic tasks like putting together furniture from IKEA and understanding a map. So what I've done today is I've brought in a pair of goggles that we will be using, and I took some Vaseline and rubbed the outside of the goggles with some Vaseline. But let's try it with, on the basic level, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spin them around 10 times. So like we mentioned, alcohol affects your judgment, it affects your fine motor skills, and it can make you not see things the way you would typically see them if you were not under the influence of alcohol. So once I stop, I'm going to remove the blackboard behind me, and he's going to read a sentence. Let's see how he does. Screw it up. Close your eyes. Okay. Can you read that sentence?
If a dog chews, whose shoes does he choose?
So he read the sentence. He said it correctly. However, he was really slow at reading that sentence. So let's try it, making it a little bit more difficult. Don't touch. We're going to put the goggles on his head. And again, I'm going to turn him around again. And I'm changing the sentence. Don't mess it all up. Okay, stop. Now I'll try to read it. So as you can see, he's wobbling. He doesn't have a secure balance. His body is out of whack. And he's having a really hard time reading that sentence that just a few minutes ago wasn't as hard to read. Can you read it at all?
No.
Because what he's probably seeing are a bunch of letters that are blurred together, and it's not making too much sense for him. Okay, We can remove the goggles. And due to the lack of time, I'm only going to be able to do one more exercise with you. So what I would like you to do is I'd like you to put on these gloves. And again, many of us just celebrated Easter, and we had, probably some of us got these Cadbury eggs. These Cadbury eggs, my favorite. So put on both gloves. Now, do you think you could open this Cadbury egg?
Possibly.
Let's see. Turn the camera. Take your time. So as you can see, he's struggling trying to open this Cadbury egg. Sorry, he's dropping it. He's fumbling it. He's not really
Got it ripped, but
capable of opening this egg. Because drinking heavy amounts of alcohol over a long period of time can lead to nerve damage called alcohol polyneuropathy. It can cause finger numbness. Other symptoms can include tingling or numbness in the arms, legs, or feet. So as you can see, because he's drank so much alcohol, he's having physical problems, long-term damage, and his ability to open this Cadbury egg has been compromised. Have a great afternoon, and it was great meeting you all.